Hello and welcome back to more of my top 100 list. I'm going to try to keep this one a little shorter, so I'm not just rambling on and repeating myself. So, without further ado, here is 40 to 31. Some crazy good ones here. Here we go. Number 40 is Rayman Origins. Now, I'm a very old school platformer fan. Old school in the way of early 3D platformers. And I never thought that a game in the modern day would sort of recapture that sort of thing. And, it's something that Ukulele tried and, stuff like that. But, one game that did succeed, fucking Rayman Origins. Rayman Origins changed my whole perspective on platformers in the modern era. It gave me hope for them. Rayman was something I never really played. I played a bit of Rayman 2 on the PC, but that's about it. And I didn't even know if there were any other Rayman games after Rayman 3. It just completely dropped off my radar after that. I played the Rayman Raving Rabbids games in my early high school, teenage years. But apart from that, Rayman just was not any part of my life until Rayman Origins came in with its tight as fuck controlling, smooth, beautiful platforming, great abilities, great music. Oh, the music in that, it really brought me back to the music of some of the old Nintendo 64 platformers. I'll tell you what, and how gorgeous everything looked. The art design was amazing. The studio that put this together did a really good job, and everything about this game is great. It's challenging to the point where to do the main story, you never have any bullshit difficulty, really. I say main story, 100%ing it is a bit difficult, but doable, and that's what I like. The challenge doesn't come from bullshit difficulties or having to go back a huge stretch of level, which is another good thing about the Rayman games, is that they have really tough sections, but if you die, you don't have to go back very far, so it gives you a chance to really practice and get good at those sections you're having trouble with, which is something that games sorely needed back in the old days, not having to repeat a whole bunch of sections just to get back to that part you're struggling with. And Rayman Origins captured that, and it's just amazing all around. Really gave me hope for the platformer genre, and I love it. Number 39 is Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop HD, the HD remake of the Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop 3DS game. Now, Kingdom Hearts, that is a series that I got into only this year. I went to the game shop, and they had a 2 for $70 deal on PS4 games. And they had a couple of games I wanted to try. One of them was one that we had talked about, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. But the one that really caught my attention was the Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which the main game in that one was Dream Drop HD. And obviously I'm not going to say that this is the game I started with. Obviously I made sure to pick up the 1.5 and 2.5 remastered bundle thing and play that first, but this is the one I picked up, and wow, I instantly became a fan of Kingdom Hearts and played all the games on those two collections and watched all the movies. And Dream Drop is great. There's a whole lot of there's this crafting element with creatures that I didn't really like, which, look, there's no way to pronounce around this. There's other Kingdom Hearts games that are higher on the list. Unfortunately, I have to say that's really explain why Kingdom Hearts isn't as, Dream Drop isn't as high up. And that's because they had this sort of creature system, which was kind of really annoying to work around, and you didn't really need it, and it was all sort of this weird throwaway thing. Not my sort of style, but Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop, we got to explore places that we didn't see in other entrances in the series. A lot of extra cool places that, the Kingdom Hearts games started going back to the same places over and over again a lot, but Dream Drop was like, alright, let's make 80% of it completely new places from the Disney, other Disney movies and things that we don't really show off in the main series, and I really enjoyed that. They had this cool switching system where you'd switch between the two main characters, Sora and Riku. You didn't really get to play as Riku much in anything, but Dream Drop HD, he was half of your main character, so I really enjoyed that. The story, Everyone says the story in Kingdom Hearts is beyond confusing and completely shitty. I enjoy it. I won't pretend that I understand all of it, or even like 90% of it, but I could confidently say that I understand a solid 60 to 75% of it, and that 60 to 75% of it I really enjoy. You don't need to go into the insane lore and all the understanding of what they're trying to do to get some emotions and some points that are really in your face home, and that's what I really enjoy about it. So Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop definitely a recommended for me, but probably play the starting games in the series just so you know what's going on. It's a game that you'd understand the story a lot more if you play it in chronological order. Don't play it in game order. Go look up the chronological order. Makes it a lot easier for you. Anyway, number 38, we have Super Smash Bros. 4 for the Wii U. Now, obviously, this list is coming out in September/October, which means that Smash Bros. 5 has not come out yet. When I do the 2019 list, I have no doubt in my mind that Smash 5 will be on the list, but while doing this, Smash 5 is not out. So here we go, we have Smash 4 for the Wii U. It brought a lot of amazing characters that I really enjoy. So many characters, so many stages, so much amazing music. And they got a lot of things right. There's a few things they didn't get right, though. They didn't bring back the tourney mode from Brawl, which, by the way, they're doing in 5. Fuck yes. But they had this cool board game system where you go around the board and try and strengthen yourself up as much as you can in the time limit, get as many characters as you can, and then brawl with all the characters that you collected. And it's an interesting mode. I do enjoy it. They didn't bring back any real story mode. They didn't bring back like the Subspace and Missionary, which really pissed me off, but made up for it in a lot of ways. Really tight controlling, a lot of fun. This is a must-have party game. If you have some sort of gathering or something, this is one of those ones. It's one of those ones like the Mario Kart series where it doesn't matter if you're the nerdy kids or the cool kids, people will still play Mario Kart or Smash Brothers. It's one of those ones that just everyone plays, so, you know. And if you don't, you're a jerk. Anyway, number 37. This is an interesting one because I don't know if many people have heard of this one. I don't know if it's a cult classic or just I haven't talked to enough people who know about it, but Fusion Frenzy. Fusion Frenzy was an Xbox party game that suffered from some wonky controls and a few bad minigames, but the minigames that did work, oh man, did they work. Oh, some of the best minigames in any party game in existence, I think, come from Fusion Frenzy. There are some that get your heart pumping like crazy. There's this one, Last Man Standing, where one of you has a bomb, and you're all in this small space, and the three of you have to run away from the guy with the bomb, and the guy with the bomb has to chase after them and try and knock them down to the ground and give them the bomb. And you're all just trying to like push your opponents into the way and run away, and then one of them gets eliminated, and then one person has a bomb, and two people got to run away. And then it's a one-on-one, and it gets real hectic. And there's also a flip of that called Odd One Out, where three people have a gem, and then there's the fourth person that has to try and get a gem, and it's whoever has the item that wins that one. One of my favorite minigames of all time in any party game is Twisted System from this game. Twisted System. I got really good at it, and it was one of those games. It was one of the few games that, when I was 10 or whatever, I was able to actually compete at a level with my 20-year-old cousins where they didn't have to hold back, and I could still keep up. And I got very good at it, and I enjoy it immensely. And there's a lot of other great games. I won't go into detail about every single game on this, but just keep in mind there's a lot of them. Sumo is one that a lot of people enjoy, where you're all in cage balls that you go inside of, those whole things you might have seen. But you're all in those, you got to try and knock each other off the platform as it's continuously shrinking, and there's just a lot of good ones. I go on forever, so I'm not going to. Also, apologies, but I have to make sure that something on the TV. Anyway, Fusion Frenzy is just an amazing party game. It's a bit of a hit or miss for some, but for me it was definitely a massive hit, and the pros very much outweighed the cons in that one. Just iconic. And actually, it's a fun fact, the first time I dressed up as any character from any video game was Zack from Fusion Frenzy. And my screen still went. I literally got up to jostle the stuff so that the screen wouldn't die, and it did anyway. Anyway, Zack from Fusion Frenzy. He had a yellow shirt, and he had earphones around his neck, which obviously I had, but he also had blue hair, so I actually dyed my hair blue when I was around 10 or 11, and then wore a yellow shirt and the earbuds, and the sort of, like, slack things with a bunch of pockets in them, and I still kind of wear those today, because I do like those style of pants. Yeah, I just went around like that, and... well, obviously, I mean, I got bullied anyway, but I got bullied more when I did that. But I didn't care, I loved it, so... a lot of good memories of Fusion Frenzy. Number 36, we had PokePark 2, but now I've got PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. The best, bar none, the best casual chill-out game. If you're having a really stressful day, you're having a really shitty time, and just things... really bleak and fucking awful for you, and you're not feeling up for a challenge or an engrossing story, or feeling challenged by some concepts or anything like that. You just want to sit down and have a fun time. Maybe a little bit of challenge, but nothing like throw your controller challenging. And even then, it's like optional. PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. It's also one of those games where if you're a 100%er, this one can be sort of just like I think it can be therapeutic, because 100% of this game is just talking to all the Pokemon and befriending them and best friending them. And there's a nice little helpful chart. It tells me how many you have left in each section, so you don't have to go, if you've missed one or two, you don't have to go all around looking all over the place. No, you can be like, okay, they're in the Haunted Zone, or they're in the Meadow Zone. So you don't have to check the one zone for them. And then if you really want to, you can just Google which Pokemon it is and how to find it. And there you go. And then you take all those characters that you're befriending and try and fix the PokePark, and, you know, go to the next zone and the next zone and play minigames. And you can play minigames with all the characters and, like, try and beat the records, and that's really fun as well. Just try and get the fastest times and see the time slowly go up as you use better Pokemon, because, like, 20 Pokemon can play one minigame, but they're, like, ranked. So obviously in the races, Bulbasaur's not going to be as fast as, like, Jolteon, that sort of thing. It's just a really nice sit-down and chill-out game, and it's a good 16, 17 hours to 100% it, so, you know, if you're having a couple, 2 or 3 really shitty days and you just want to sit down and have a day, just do nothing, chill out, play a really casual game, I can't recommend this one enough. It's got me through a lot of times, and I think it could do the same for others, so it would be remiss of me to not mention it, and, you know, I'll leave it at that. Number 35 is South Park, The Fractured But Whole. This is... I had a real tough time, and I'm also going to put number 34 here as well and talk about both. Number 34 is South Park Stick of Truth. Oh god, how am I going to edit this? Which one am I going to put in the picture? Anyway, number 34 is South Park Stick of Truth, number 35 is South Park The Fractured But Whole. And it was hard for me to think which one do I want to put ahead of the other one. Because on one hand, South Park Stick of Truth, I think, did a lot better with giving you a story and abilities and a sort of a progression system that made a lot more sense. Fractured But Whole sort of muddled things up and had a lot more mechanics that you had to keep track of, but at the same time, there was more to do in the game, and it wasn't as buggy. South Park Stick of Truth, very buggy game, sometimes to the point where you have to reset the game. In fact, I'm doing a Let's Play on it soon, and it's probably out by the time people are hearing this. But, yeah, even while doing that, there's been bugs aplenty, so they're kind of like... they're both sort of equal. They all have their pros and cons, but purely on preference, I put Stick of Truth first. Purely on preference. They have the same score on my top 100 list of 35, so it was purely a preference thing to put Stick of Truth first. But anyway, why are either of these South Park games even on the list? Well, it is South Park, and it's an RPG. That's all I need to say. It's not one of those cheap cash-in ones. It's very... no, I can't say that, because that's a game that's further up on the list I haven't talked about yet. Whoops. It's one of those games that is very close to the source material. There is an insane amount of references. You got the original voice cast in it doing their actual voices. There's no sort of what the fuck voice is coming out of that character sort of moments. It's all very natural. It feels like a part of the show. Both of these games do a very good job at feeling like it's like a trilogy in South Park. In fact, the Fractured But Whole is based on the Coon trilogy, so there you go. And they put you in the episodes. You get to control somewhat what goes on. You get to be a part of it. And of course, it's an RPG, and RPGs are awesome. A lot of cool mechanics, a lot of interesting concepts, and things that Western RPGs are good at, sort of, especially the comedy and the sort of pacing in these games, I think works very well. These are two games that, if you're a fan of any sort of RPG at all, obviously it's a recommendation to pick them up. The best South Park games that have been made. Trey and Matt Parker approved, so... That's just Trey Parker. Whatever. Whatever, I'm tired. So, yeah, I definitely recommend those. Anyway, number 33. Well, definitely one of the newest on the list, I think. When did this come out? It feels like not that long ago, but it must have been a few months now. Anyway, it is Super Mario Odyssey. Oh yeah, the new Mario game that came out on the Switch. The game that was meant to be very much like 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy, because fuck what you say, Galaxy is not one of the linear New Super Mario Bros. Ones. Galaxy is a proper 3D Mario, so I lump them in. So this is the fifth, in my opinion, the main 3D Mario series. 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, and Odyssey. And Odyssey does not slack. It is just as good as the other five. Even though I didn't put Sunshine on my top 100 list, I can appreciate... What did I put it? No, I don't think I did. I can't remember if I did or not, but I can appreciate that the game is very good. It's got nice graphics, music, level design, maybe? It's just not my cup of tea, Sunshine, personally, but yeah, what can I say? Odyssey definitely picks up and does all the insane things you'd want. It gives you a new mobility style with Cappy that I was worried, because with Galaxy you had so much freedom with your jumps, with spin attack to do such cool things. In Sunshine you had the flood to let you do some real cool maneuvers, and I thought, are they going to try and make that more basic again? Are they going to give us a proper jump? And oh boy did they do that and more. Jumping with Cappy is so fun and so satisfying when you get the combos off to go around. And wow, the amount of moons in that game. It's not as fun to me as the conventional star system, but I'll definitely take it. Sometimes it's nice to have a change of pace, and I think Odyssey did a very good job with their change of pace. Beautiful, beautiful lands to explore. Honestly, a lot of people talk about the metro area. Everyone's like, this is the big selling point, the metro area. Honestly, there's a lot of areas that are better for me. In fact, probably half of the areas are better for me. I'm not saying that the New Donk City is a bad map. In fact, there's one part of it that I probably put in my top 5 moments of Odyssey at the end of New Donk City, the story part. But, I mean, that goes to show, I think, how all the areas in Odyssey are unique and they all work, which is amazing. There's maybe one or two that I don't like. Lost Kingdom. Yes, but for the majority, they all work. The moons are all the moons that you need to get are all easy enough to find, and some of them can be very rewarding. Not a lot of flaws in this game, and I think in time, if not already, it is going to be a proper classic. Super Mario Odyssey lived up to the expectations, and I could not be happier, because we now have a bright future for the main series 3D games, and fuck, I'm hyped. Anyway, number 32, we have the original Paper Mario. People were probably wondering, when was I going to put this on the list? I put, like, fucking Color Splash. I put Super Paper Mario. I put the Thousand Year Door. When was the original Paper Mario going to show up? And this is where. Oh, actually, I got to do a thing real quick. Put a marker on it. Probably doesn't make sense to anyone. And I also can't find the background text tool thing. There it is. But yes, Paper Mario, the original. It is an experience. It is something that I think everyone should play and just sort of experience. That word's going to come up a lot for this game. The characters in this game are all nice and lively. For this era, it was an amazing thing. Of course, the controls in that are all really solid, but the art style of the paper thing was unheard of, really. And I think that that paper dynamic to everything was just so unique and so amazing that, even though, of course, it obviously comes back in the other Paper Mario games, hence the title, it was just something magical about it when it first came out. Some of the most memorable pieces of music are in that game. Some of the most memorable areas for me are in that game. Just some of the quests that you had to do were so funny and interesting to me. And of course, Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario had things like that in them as well. But I think Paper Mario was just the one for me that was all around a better experience. And there's not much more to say that I haven't said about all the other Paper Mario games, other than I think that this game is pure magic in a little Nintendo 64 cartridge. Yeah, what can I say other than it's an experience in every possible way. So, that's my thoughts on it. And number 31, the one that I'm wrapping this off with, number 31 is Conkers Bad Fur Day. Rare on the Nintendo 64 was unstoppable, even to the very end, and you can't get more to the very end of the Nintendo 64's life cycle than Conkers Bad Fur Day, because the reason that didn't sell very well is because you had a mature game that you had to, like, have your parents come around to pick up for you at the end of the Nintendo 64 life cycle, when everyone was already hyped up about the GameCube and Luigi's Mansion and everything. It was interesting that they made the move, but I'm glad they did, because Conkers Bad Fur Day is amazing. Its controls can be a bit shoddy, and some of its puzzles can be bullshit. Very rage-inducing, really. I'm having trouble with the Great Mighty Poo as of replaying it now, but I have never actually gotten past the rock bar where you have to... not the first rock that you have to piss on to get to a location. Explain this game to someone who has never played it or seen it, it's going to sound so fucking weird. But the second rock guy that you have to piss on and sort of maneuver around, I could never get it to work, and I don't know why. You just wouldn't fucking get in the hole. But yeah, this is just a collection of all the rude, crude things that I love, with a cute orange squirrel, who is obviously a big influence for me and a character that I really enjoy. Look at the channel's fucking profile picture and tell me that somehow I have not been inspired by Conker a lot. A bloody orange squirrel. Just one of the more iconic characters for me, and you can't imagine how fucking pissed off I was when Young Conker was released, that information. Oh, a lot of people hated it, but I was seething. I always wanted a new Conkers Bad Fur Day game, or just a new Conkers game in general, because they had it almost so right this time. The art style for the time was absolutely amazing. I liked the more linear style that it had, as opposed to some other games that Rare had done. I, of course, loved the story, and the dialogue, and the voice acting, and, of course, the thing that I liked the most about this game was, with all its rude humor, with all its crudeness and jokes, and all the fun that you had compacted into this game, the ending. Holy shit. The ending. Wow. The ending was a massive curveball. I won't spoil it if you guys want to actually play the game, but the ending was something else for me. I don't know what it was, but it did something that a lot of games don't really do. I just sort of sat there in awe of it. I don't really get a lot of emotion from games. I mean, I feel things, sad or annoyed or whatever, but I don't really just sort of sit there after a game is done and just ponder, everything, and sort of get this, really intense feeling. And I think one of the best musical tracks in video gaming, as a whole, not just in a genre, not just in a console generation, of all gaming, is probably the ending theme to Conkers Bad Fur Day. Just how sort of upbeat and the music for the whole game is. And then you get to the ending theme, and it's just the most poignant and beautiful piece of music. One of the most beautiful pieces of music that I think have ever been composed for a video game. And yeah, it's a piece of music that I sometimes just sit there and listen to and sort of just try and get all move thoughts from my head and just sort of relax and think and recoup. And yeah, it's just sort of an amazing experience. Again, using that word, experience. But yeah, this really is one. You'll get a lot of laughs, you'll get a lot of comedy, you'll get a few frustrating moments because the camera is not great. People complained about the camera in some other games that I'll get to on the list, but Conkers Bad Fur Day, oh boy. And some of the controls are very iffy, but if you can get past all that, you will find a solid gold experience here. So, that was my list of 40 to 31. How do we do on time? 27 minutes? Okay, so I really did not keep it short and sweet like I planned to. Oh well, them's the breaks. I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble on about 10 more games that I think are worthy of being some of the best games of all time. And, next time's 30 to 21. We've only got 3 more of these. And, 30 to 21 is going to have, ironically, a lot less sort of emotional attachment. A lot of these games sort of scrape by, like Conkers Bad Fur Day, on sort of how hard they hit me. They would have gone a lot further down with controls or whatnot, but I feel like they made up for it in other places. These ones are just sort of solid gaming experiences. And these ones I think people can agree with me on. Some, maybe not. Some have actually started going down a few spots. One very noticeably, but we'll talk about that next episode. I've been TheGlitched64. I hope you'll follow on with me to the next episode. Sorry about all the getting up from my chair and all the clicking and stuff this episode. Technology does not want to work with me today. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.